Time to start the meeting.
Oh,
Okay, I
recording.
just started recording. Go for it, Barbara.
Thank you, President Barbara Mueller here, welcoming every single one of you, especially this month. I'm so grateful to see all the women. We found out in Russia that there's more women in their clubs than there are men. And so it's nice to see equal numbers here. It's great. You know, Russia has opened up so many avenues for women of service in Rotary, and it was just so much fun. We've been on 3 Russian calls in the past week or so, and it's just wonderful to listen to their stories and to have Sharon on this morning to talk about her book. It was just beautiful. And so this is March. March is International Women's Month, and March 8th is going to be celebrated as International Women's Day. The real International Women's Day is March 10th. But because it's on a Monday and it seems like a lot of people want to celebrate it on a Monday, so we're going to do that. This morning I had the honor, and I'm not talking about anything but honor, of interviewing Sylvia Whitlock. How many people know who she is? The first woman Rotary president.
In the Duarte Club.
In the Duarte Club. You win the box of C's candy. Thank you. She was so passionate. If you want to hear her, go on Google and type in type in Jennifer Jones and Sylvia and watch the dialogue between the two. Sylvia is fantastic and Jennifer does a fabulous job. And she's our, who is that, everyone? First woman international. Yes. And she's the Rotary International president. No, she's not the president-elect because that's, she's going to be 22, 23. Am I right, Peggy?
President nominee.
Yeah.
And
okay.
she's from Canada.
Thank you, Richard. That is another bonus. Anyway, first do her on Google and listen to her talk, and then go to peacepodcast.org. And we had a conversation today. She's my latest member of my group of people who are significant in the world of peace. So go to peacepodcast.org and just listen to Sylvia. I'm still in this aura of what it took for 11 years for her. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Belinda. What it took her, you know, they wouldn't even let her put her name down when she joined. It was her superintendent of schools that got her in. And they told her, you just have to go S. Whitlock. They'll never know if you're a Stephen or a Sam or a Samuel. And so that's how they got her in. And the only way they found out was she went to a Rotary Pets meeting, Rudy. And at the Pets meeting, they said, what are you doing here? And she said, well, I'm the president of the Duarte company, or the Duarte, what is it called? Rotary Club. And they said, you can't come, you're a woman. And she said, but I'm the president. Well, you'll hear the rest of the story. There's a lot there. Rudy, with that little opening, let's go right to who's here tonight and welcome everyone.
Well,
Hello, my name is Michael Angelo.
This is a great evening tonight. We're up to 41 online so far. So Bill, you draw a crowd. That's a good thing. So David Churchman's joining us here from up north. Dee's on. Looking good over there. He gets on early here. Good to see you, Dee. Marcia's on with us. Karen's next to me at the lake over here. Bill's coming on. He'll get introduced in a little bit. He's from up north in Evanston area. So David Wick, we've been on several meetings today and connected early this morning with the Rotary Club in St. Petersburg, Russia. Connie, good to see you.
Thank you.
Sultana, thank you for joining us. Melissa, our brand newest member. Melissa lives down in Los Angeles, and welcome aboard. So
thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
And she is related to Marcia.
My sister.
Exactly.
Sandy. We have a lot
Sandy.
of families now, Boswell's, Julie and her dad, and
Yep.
Karen and Rudy.
Sandy, where are you from?
David and Irene.
I got a Sandy on here. That's what happens to your sandwich, when your peanut butter sandwich, when you drop it down at the beach. Had to have some kind of joke anyways. Belinda, great to see you. Julie, good to see you as always. Peggy, I'm glad you're beginning to get on the mend from COVID and making some improvements there.
Well on the way.
Okay, great. Andrea, how are you tonight? You're in Arizona.
Great, this is my third peace meeting, so cool.
Oh, good. Yeah, you're probably good. You're not gonna be in Running Springs. We're supposed to get a couple inches of snow tomorrow.
Ooh,
So winter's not over yet. Richard, good to see you. Brian is keeping the peace in Ojai. That's good. Lisa is
Everybody.
creating peace in our cities. Peter, good to see you. And Peter,
You.
3 days from now is going to celebrate his 29th birthday. So Peter, happy birthday to you.
39.
Oh, 39. Okay.
39. I'm leveling right there. I like that age. But you're right, it is in 3 days.
I think I remember what that was now, probably not. So, but happy birthday.
Thank you.
Bob is our second newest member. Bob's transferring over from Cathedral City Rotary Club to our club. Bob, great to have you.
Thanks for letting me be here.
No, thank you for joining us. This is great. Marilyn, good to see you again. We've been on a couple meetings today. Carol is enjoying the desert over there. Tim, how are you? Holding down the fort in Iowa. Elaine, good to see you with us. And let's see who else we got here. Work down the group. Mark Harbison is resting in Hawaii, keeping the peace in Hawaii. That's a good thing.
You should
Terry,
wear a lei, Mark, to cover up your beard.
What should he do?
Terry doing good out here. Martin, good to see you tonight. Super. Stacy, got a Stacy Martin on here. We have a Scott Martin and a Stacy Martin. So Stacy, you're joining us from Portland, is that right? Super. Well, welcome. Warren, how are things with you up north? I think he's doing okay. Derek, great to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything's going well.
Fine. I'd just like to make mention, there's one of the colleagues of mine and also of Sylvia's who's been in the hospital in Encino with the COVID for the last 8 weeks. And
Whoa.
she's had numerous relapses and is, we don't know what's going to happen. This is really serious business. And so
Did you
Lulu
get
needs
your
your-
shot,
Lulu
Derek?
needs your prayers. What's that?
Did you get your vaccine?
I have my first, yes. I get the other one after the 8th.
Yeah, I get mine on Friday. Good.
Yeah.
Everybody
Well,
get your
we'll-
vaccines.
We'll keep her in our prayers.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
He's a good friend of Deepa's too,
Okay, great.
as is Sylvia
Yeah, good.
and
Bert.
mine.
Yeah. Virgil, good to see you tonight. Adam,
Good to
How's
see
everything?
everyone. Good, thank you, Rudy.
good. I'm glad you were able to connect there with John Hugo. That's great. Catherine,
It was
how are
super.
you?
Oops, I was trying to get my audio. Thanks, Rudy. I'm fine.
Good. Down,
Great
Yeah.
to see all the Rotary Peace Fellows on with us today.
isn't it
Welcome,
great?
everybody.
Anya, second time today. How are you?
Today, yes, great.
And you didn't even have to interpret for us this morning.
It was a great meeting, Anya. I'm glad you were there.
Self-sufficient.
That was good, yeah. Who else we got on here? Arthur, good to see you. And
Yeah, thank you. Thrilled and so appreciative of everyone who helped us get our Salute to Rotary on our film, and it's uploaded now for PBS to come out in April. So thank
Super.
you, everybody who helped. with that.
Congratulations, Arthur.
Yeah,
congratulations.
you were a
hard.
big help, Barbara, especially, and everyone, so many
Well,
people.
we're just grateful that you were able to do it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Kanati's on. Got a big thumbs up there. Michael Corbin is on with us. We got
And Peter
David.
Meissen just put in the chat the link for the Sylvia Jennifer Jones webinar, if you want to call it that.
Okay.
Thank you.
David Fishman's on. David, good to see you. He's with
Right.
U.S. Russia ICC.
Yeah.
And I'll follow up with the email with Dennis and Richard and Al
Yeah,
later
super.
tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, I see Al here. Al, how you doing?
I'm fine, everybody. Great to see you all.
Good to see you. And we got one of our members coming back in here. No, I got Sandy and Karen Cabreros. Karen, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, welcome back. How you doing?
Thank you.
Good to have you with us here. And I think I've covered about everybody. Did I miss anybody?
Mark in the Middle East,
Oh, there's Mark down there. He's hiding away. I didn't see you, Mark.
trying to hide.
There you go. Early morning. It's only
Quarter to
4:45
5.
a.m. So you can have an extra cup of coffee over there.
Thank you.
Say hi to Marilyn for us.
Will do.
All righty. This is a super evening, and we've as we mentioned today, we were able to have a meeting. We started having some meetings with some clubs and Rotary clubs in Russia. And I guess it's almost the last Friday of each month now, 2 times in a row. We've met with Rotary clubs in Vladivostok, started with the Vladivostok Eco Club. And we have several clubs over there getting together and have enjoying a great relationship development and learning more about all the different activities they have going on under Rotary in there. And David Combs, that was your iPhone. I wasn't sure that we had another David on with his phone and his computer. So David Combs, great to see you.
Good to see you, Rudy.
And sorry I missed you there. And then we started having, I guess it's going to be about every 6 weeks now, a meeting with a core group of us with Rotary Club in St. Petersburg, Russia, the White Knights Club. That's beginning to go quite well too. So we're continuing to develop some relationships with our club in peace and our connections over in Russia. So I look forward to building those relationships even more. So this has been a great day, a great few days in this area. Now, Barbara, I want to have Martin, if he would please introduce our speaker for this evening.
Wonderful, thank you. And I want to tell you that Irene's article, the link to her article is now on the chat box. There's so many great things on the chat. You just want to save the whole thing. Go ahead, Martin. We're looking forward to your introduction.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, everyone, and good evening to you all for which it's evening. Yeah, I got an email from Rudy, and I think probably the record for the quickest response to an email of an invitation to say, hey, would you like to introduce Bill Rintz? And I said, yeah, absolutely. It would be an honor. And I'd consider Bill to be as much a friend, as a colleague, as a co-conspirator towards peace as anyone. And what I think makes Bill particularly special is the way he goes about his job. And job's sort of a funny term when you think about what Bill does in connecting Peace Fellows both to their own passion, to each other's passion, and to Rotary. And I think has really given value to the investment that we've made into the program over the years has really come back several fold in the connections we've been able to make. We heard from Susan Carroll just a couple of weeks ago, and Bill Rintz's name came up as being that game changer in connecting Rotarians and the Rotary Peace Fellows. And we often think of, those as being two separate things, but now with the Rotary Peace Fellowship Alumni Association, we're one and the same. We're all part of the Rotary family now. And I think Bill's role more than anything else has been connecting that and making that a real for everybody involved. So I don't want to take anything more away from Bill. I do know that he did get awarded a Paul Harris Fellow Award last year for his efforts in building our first elected board of directors for the Rotary Peace Fellowship Alumni Association. And we're going into our second year having the Cyber Peace Conference. Last year, we had 1,500 attendees for the 24-hour conference. The two chairs are also on the call. Stacy and Elaine are on the call with us, just how, as a testament, just how important this relationship with Bill has become over the last couple of years. So with that, I'd love to hear now from Bill. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, everyone.
Well, thank you, Martin, and all the kind words, maybe 2 kind words that you shared go right back at you. And also Elaine and Stacy, I'm glad that I'm joined by my friends and Rotary Peace Fellow alumni on this call, because really everything that I'll be talking about is related to people like them. So just by way of introduction, for those of you who don't know, right, I'm on staff at Rotary International. My job title is Alumni Relations Specialist for the Rotary Peace Fellowship. I've been at Rotary for about 4 years now, which is hard to imagine, but in this specific role for about 2 years. And I will be talking a lot about the Peace Fellowship, Peace Fellow alumni, and what I would say people like Martin, Elaine, and Stacy are accomplishing through the Alumni Association. But I want to gauge our audience here a little bit. We're obviously at the E-Club for World Peace, but how many people would say that they're very familiar with the Peace Fellowship and what it is? I know that's many people. How many would say slightly familiar? And who would say not really familiar at all? Maybe you heard of it, but no more. Okay, well, it's good to know we have a few different people from each type of group. So I do, in the interest of everybody on this call, I want to start with a little overview of what the Rotary Peace Fellowship is, and then in my role in working with alumni. So I will start with that broad overview, starting with the really broad mission. And the Rotary Peace Centers, it's our program that has a vision of sustainable peace. That's a really ambitious vision. But what that vision is a network of peace builders. That's our Rotary Peace Fellow alumni, who are community leaders dedicated to preventing and resolving conflicts around the globe. So, oh, here we go. Having a little trouble with the with the controls here. So the program, now it's been around since 2002. And as you can see, 1,400 people now have gone through the Rotary Peace Fellowship program. And as you can see, they come from and are working in more than 115 countries. So people like Martin, Elaine, Stacy are a very diverse group. For the program, up to 130 Peace Fellows are chosen annually. So there are 2 separate programs as part of the Rotary Peace Fellowship. The Master's Program, that targets people who are earlier in their careers as peace and development leaders. That program has 50 fellows per year. And as you can see, that's a 15 to 24 month course, so about the same length as a normal master's program. There's also the certificate program, and that is, as you can see, for proven peace and development leaders, people who have a lot of experience in the field and are looking to enhance that experience and their network. So those are all of the Peace Fellows here on the call. That's Elaine, Martin, and Stacy. And 80 Peace Fellows are chosen per year to attend that program. The program has shifted just starting this year, and it now is a 1-year blended learning program, which also includes a social change initiative. So where are these Rotary Peace Centers? As you can see in the yellow, these are where the master's programs are located. Duke, UNC, that's a joint program between Duke and the University of North Carolina here in the US. Also the University of Bradford in England, Uppsala University in Sweden, International Christian University in Japan, and the University of Queensland in Australia. And the certificate program is at Chulalongkorn University in Thailand, and just beginning this week at Makerere University in Uganda. So this university is our newest center. The 20 Peace Fellows are starting their program in person in Uganda, and it's a really exciting time for that group. And I do want to announce, I'm sure many of you have heard this news, but just last week, it was announced a gift from the Otto and Fran Walter Foundation provided a gift to the Rotary Foundation, which will allow the opening of a new center in the Middle East and North Africa region. So that is, again, extremely exciting news for the future of the program, that it's expanding and reaching a wider group of potential Peace Fellows. And if you have questions on that, I'm going to refer those to Peggy, but we can maybe talk about that later. So that's the broad strokes of the program, very, very broad. But it's worth mentioning that right now, the application for the next year of Peace Fellows is open. So that began on February 1st. I can share these slides later to go over the application process, how all of you can help, because I know many of you are working in this field or know many wonderful leaders who could benefit from the Rotary Peace Fellowship, is that we would love you to refer candidates to apply. The diversity of candidates has really grown over the past few years, the number of qualified candidates, but we're always looking for qualified candidates to apply. And I know Sultana on this call has applied before, and definitely would encourage her to do that again. I will mention that the application this year is open until the 15th of May. That's when an application needs to be submitted. So for people who are interested in the program, now is the time to apply. But I'm going to move to my favorite topic, which is directly related to my work, and that's Rotary Peace Fellow alumni. I mean, the real impact of this program is our alumni and what they do during and following their program. So as I've mentioned, from the beginning of the program, there are now 1,400 alumni, and that's 9 people have participated in both programs, actually. But to give you a sense of where these alumni are around the world, of course, as you can see here, there are many in North America, many in the United States, but it really is a global group of people. And I think any of the Peace Fellows here could attest to how diverse the cohorts that they studied with are. As you can see, the Middle East region only has 27. I think that with the opening of a new center will, the goal for the Peace Fellows from that region will definitely change. Many of you have seen this graphic. It's one way to showcase where our Peace Fellows are working. But as you can see, non-governmental organizations, including organizations like the Red Cross, that's a lot of our Peace Fellows at 36%. 6% work for United Nations agencies. I know for Rotarians, sometimes that sounds the most prestigious with Peace Fellows who are working at UNICEF or UNESCO. But I want to emphasize, and I think the Peace Fellows here would agree, is that a job title is not the only indicator of how these people are leading peace building initiatives in their work. I know Martin's a very good example because he has many careers outside of his work at Mediators Beyond Borders. Another person I'll mention, Elsa da Silva. She was one of the first board members of the Alumni Association. She formerly was an air traffic controller. So although these statistics are maybe what you see, I want to hopefully uncover that the people behind this work. Part of that is that 93% of alumni, when self-reporting, say that their job is connected to peace and development. And that is very important. I think all Rotarians who support the program would like to see them continuing in a career path that's related. But even more than that is the beneficiaries of Peace Fellows work, as you can see here. So when Peace Fellows are self-reporting the beneficiaries of their work, as you can see, these are refugees and displaced persons are often one of the highest responses that we get. Also young people, a lot of Peace Fellows work in peace education for youth. People in conflict affected areas, women and children. I know we've highlighted that it is International Women's Month. and impoverished communities. So beyond a job title, it's the communities that Peace Fellows serve in their work is really, really the important aspect of the program. So as I've said, I would like to, I could talk about, I don't know if I could talk about every one of the 1,400 alumni, but I do want to highlight a few, and then I'm going to actually ask Elaine to speak a little bit later. But these are some examples of the people who have gone through our program. Here is Elsa Marie da Silva. You may have heard her speak. She's an alumna of the certificate program at Chulalongkorn, and professionally she, as I said, was an air traffic controller, but now she has founded and is the chief executive of the Red Dot Foundation in India. One of the projects is an app called Safe City, and that maps instances of sexual violence and using that data to affect policy change. So that's the focus of quite a number of Peace Fellows' work. And you can see the quote here from her that the Peace Fellowship came at a time where she wanted to validate her work. And what I feel heartened by is that she feels supported by this community and can reach out to Peace Fellows worldwide. So it's she has been really extremely influential in growing and building and strengthening the network of alumni. Another is Charlie Allen. Many of you will be familiar with the Institute of Economics and Peace, and he's the director of partnerships. As he says, the fellowship opened up his thinking, created new pathways, provided a new set of tools, and most important, opened up a whole new network of people and resources. As I said, I could talk about any number of Peace Fellows here. I'll highlight just a few individuals going forward. This is Abdi Ahmed. As you can see, actually, I need to update here his job title, but formerly was the Director of Immigration Partnership in Canada. That organization helped to integrate new refugees into the community in Quebec. And you again can see that he says that we're a family of Peace Fellows. We see ourselves as change agents in the community. And to be a change agent, you need to be able to influence society and put yourself in the loop of decision making. A few more people that I'll highlight just by way of an example. This is Jamie Lesueur. He's the head of emergency operations for the Red Cross. He won the Alumnus of the Year Award for Uppsala University in Sweden, which I think I neglected to mention that that's one of our partner universities and Rotary Peace Centers. This is Rita Lopidia. She actually was honored in 2020, so last year, the first year that the Women Peace Building Award or Women Building Peace Award was given by the United States Institute for Peace. So that's timely considering this month. And so her work is, as you can see, she is the co-founder of her own organization for women's development in South Sudan. And a lot of her work is towards building peace agreements in South Sudan and having women be a part of that process. And yeah, finally, here's another person, Sarah Sanderson, who's the Foreign Service Officer at the US Department of State. I could go on, but the reason why I talk about these individual Peace Fellows is, for me and my work, the real joy of it is being able to work with people who are so accomplished and have such skills and are doing such amazing work. And again, to showcase that that it's the people behind the fellowship that really is where the impact lies. I'll use this opportunity to say that, of course, we are really glad when Peace Fellows in their own careers, independent of Rotary, do amazing things. That is, it's not a requirement for Peace Fellows to, to give back to Rotary in any specific way, but many of our Peace Fellows absolutely do that. One example of that is Patricia Schaefer. I think she's probably the example of a Peace Fellow who has really been successful in working alongside Rotary in these large-scale impactful projects. And part of that is because she's a Rotarian herself now. She's also the executive director of New Gen Peace Builders. And so right now, along with, I should mention, Anna Patel, who's another Peace Fellow alumna, is coordinating a peace building project, training Rotaract members in positive peace education across multiple Rotary zones. So this is a large area. So that's ongoing now. And I think it's worth noting that she's implementing positive peace education. So using the framework developed by our partner, the Institute for Economics and Peace. So this project in particular is a great example of the synergy of Rotary Service Partner, IEP. I know Martin can speak to that when it comes to our other service partner, Mediators Beyond Borders International. But of course, this is something that I think Rotarians who support the program are really passionate about, is when they have the chance to work alongside Peace Fellows like Patricia. But now I'll transition to the Peace Fellowship Alumni Association. So just by way of background, when I started my position at the beginning of 2019, my role, I would argue it wasn't exactly a new role, but was created to help Peace Fellows develop an alumni association whereby they can work collectively together better. I mean, we've stayed in very good touch with Peace Fellow alumni individually throughout the years, but as the program has grown, as I've mentioned, 1,400 Peace Fellow alumni, there's a greater capacity, more so than ever, for Peace Fellows to work together in a more unified way, whether that's just working with themselves or partnering with Rotary. And I'll highlight a few of the initiatives that we've collaborated on. So I'm quick to note that I'm not the leader of the Alumni Association. The whole purpose is that alumni have the ability to decide how they want to partner, work together, and work with Rotary. But I think the case has been that for many years, Peace Fellows have wanted to do more things, but have needed support from a person like me in my position to help those initiatives come along. And likewise, Rotary Alumni Relations, we've had really ambitious ideas for how to leverage the expertise of our alumni. But without this new structure and this new association, this is where we can kind of come together and work together to create these programs and help Rotarians like you understand the impact of the program. So again, I'll just highlight, my work is in collaboration with alumni like Martin, like Stacy, like Elaine. This is the current board of the Rotary Peace Fellowship Alumni Association. Paolo Gioco from Argentina, Ana Galvez, she's in Australia, Maria Morea, she's also in Argentina, Wes Hedden in the US, and Wale Adeboye. They're joined by a team of regional coordinators who are building regional networks of Peace Fellows, and even without official titles, the many other Rotary Peace Fellow alumni who are working together through the new association. One of the programs, and I think this is especially relevant for your club, is that many times Rotarians will ask, how can I invite a Rotary Peace Fellow to speak at my club? I'd love to hear from somebody like Elsa or like Martin or like any Peace Fellow, for example. I will share this through the chat, but rpfaa.org, I encourage you all to go there, and that's where you can find a speaker database. So now there are 114 Peace Fellows. Also in that database are positive peace activators and some Rotary Global Grant Scholars who are working in this area. This is where you as Rotarians can go see some of the profiles of Rotary Peace Fellows, the topics that they can speak about, and submit a request for a speaker. So this is hopefully helping you as Rotarians connect to Rotary Peace Fellows in an easier and more straightforward way. Happy to talk more about that. Another way that Rotarians like you can get to know Rotary Peace Fellows, engage with the ideas and the topics that they're working on, is through all of the events that Rotary Peace Fellows are planning. So beginning last spring, we launched a webinar series. You can see some of them here on topics like gender-based violence, climate change, peace education, xenophobia, and those were with my direct input, but Peace Fellows regionally have been planning events without my input and have really taken this on to provide programs on these really vital topics. Again, you can see what upcoming events are available at rpfaa.org. So again, the purpose of many of these events is to showcase the work of Rotary Peace Fellows, not necessarily a focus on their work, but on the beneficiaries of their work. So several of the events have invited, for example, survivors of the Nagasaki atomic bombings. So really to showcase that Peace Fellows are thought leaders within the organization and to engage with Rotarians on these topics, hopefully leading to collaborative projects. Thanks for sharing, Elaine. I also want to highlight a really interesting initiative by the regional chapter in Europe. And again, I will share some of this through the chat. But the Rotarian Peace Projects Incubator, that was an initiative not just by Peace Fellows, but also the Rotary Action Group for Peace in Europe. The purpose of this project was to bring 50 Peace Fellows together with Rotarians, Rotaractors, and international experts, and to develop ready-made projects that could be developed into global grants. So this is another purpose of the Alumni Association's work, is that it's, of course, a goal to just have people connect, but also programs that lead to impact. And I really encourage you to visit rppi.ch. This is where you can see a lot of the projects that have been developed, because many of these projects still, they're looking for Rotary clubs and Rotary districts that are willing to sponsor the projects. So the goal is, of course, not only to develop the concept, but to have them lead to actual projects on the ground. Okay, and this is where I will actually turn over part of my time to Stacy and Elaine. One of the biggest projects from last year, and I think many of you may have attended, was the Global Cyber Peace Conference. I give Martin really all the credit for conceiving of this idea to fill a need. The Rotary Convention had been canceled or made virtual at that point, and to plan a conference, a really amazing conference with, as you can see, over 1,500 attendees, 400 presenters, really from the luminaries in the peace building space to local peace builders. And this was a huge initiative, but I know that it had a lot of amazing impact, judging by the reaction that we received from a lot of the attendees. The idea, as you can see from some of the reactions, is that it was an opportunity to learn new ways of thinking, a piece that had real meaning for me. I was surprised by the level of turnout, but what really challenged me was the call to action derived from the sessions. Another person highlighted that it was an opportunity to bring together a lot of people in Rotary's Peace Building Network, IEP, MBBI, the Rotarian Action Group for Peace. And at this time, I was going to announce myself the successor to this event, the 2021 Global Rotary Peace Fellow Global Peace Conference. But actually, if I can, I'd like Elaine to speak to that. Elaine?
Hi, everyone. Hello from Melbourne. So Bill just gave an overview of our first conference and how well attended and our global reach from that first conference. And I just want to share a little story of the impact from that first conference. One of our Peace Fellows in the Pacific suggested that we reach out to some groups in the Pacific Islands. And we did so and reached out to a group in the Pacific, Papua New Guinea, where we suggested that in that region, many of them were in the outer regions, unable to get often consultants to come in to teach them about peace building. And so what happened was that that organization that we partnered with had some funding, and we were able to get funding to fly people from the outer regions of Papua New Guinea to a central location, Leh, so that they can join us as a hybrid. So they were meeting in person, around 20 people, youth leaders, pastors, women leaders, to join our conference and get training in something that they would probably never have gotten because they were in such remote regions. And for us, that is what we think of when we think of impact and global reach. The ability to not just reach Rotarians, educated people in the cities, but to reach people in the outer regions, everyday leaders, everyday peace builders. And so this year, our conference on June 19th is we want to be more inclusive and more accessible, not just reaching people who might self-identify as peace builders. We want to get more students, teenagers, university students, business people, everyone to kind of think collectively as to what do we mean about building peace and weaving a shared future together. So we're really looking forward to making this a bigger and more well-attended event. And we look to you as our key peace champions to be helping us promoting this with your networks, but also helping us to think up of ideas of how we can make this possible. We're looking for to make this more accessible to people with hearing loss, for example, trying to have a translation available for some of the different regions, and to also have funding so that we can have the equivalent of what happened in Papua New Guinea happen everywhere else. So we're looking forward to seeing you in a few months.
Thank you so much, Elaine. I'm really glad that you and Stacy are here because you are the co-chairs. And again, I just want to note that in all of these things that I've shared, Peace Fellows are the leaders. Peace Fellows are the ones with the expertise. I actually had a conversation with a Peace Fellow and we were talking, and she was asking me, well, Bill, where does your passion for all of this come from? And I don't know, I was kind of taken aback by that. But I think as I said earlier, the real joy in my work is that none of my work is really about me, but it's about elevating the work of Peace Fellows like Elaine, Martin, Stacy, and all of the others that I've mentioned, and giving you as Rotarians a chance not only to see the impact of the program that you support as Rotarians, but also give you opportunities to get to know them, to work alongside them, and then together to increase the impact of Rotary in the world. So I had a little bit more to share, but I think that's a perfect note to end on. And I really do encourage you on June 19th to attend the conference, because that will be another awesome opportunity. So thank you again for welcoming me. I welcome any questions that you might have too, because I'm sure there are many.
Yeah, this is great, Bill. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, and Elaine and Stacy and Martin's on here too, and I know they've been very involved in this. So Elaine just put up in the chat box, it starts the evening of the 18th of June, but the conference is the the 19th. It's 24 hours around the globe, right?
That's right. It was, I think the fun that we had in planning it last year was staying up almost 24 hours. I think Martin was probably the one who stayed up all 24 hours. I got a little bit of shut-eye. Now the attendees don't need to stay up for 24 hours, but the purpose is that no matter what part of the world you're in, that you have a chance to tune into to programs when you're awake.
Yeah, so let us furnish us with additional materials, please, so that we can help you market this.
Absolutely.
And get this out to our networks.
We'll have save the date images and information to circulate in the next few weeks. So in the next fortnight.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Barbara, you have a question? You have to unmute yourself, though.
Thank you.
We're all not good at
I was intrigued by Peace Education in Action. That is a kind of a Zoom meeting. Is that something that they did, Bill?
Yes, that was one of the webinars that we held in the spring of last year. That was highlighting some of the Peace Fellows who are doing work in peace education for youth. So Patricia Schaefer was one of the Peace Fellows I mentioned, and she was part of that webinar. I'll mention that the recordings from some of those past programs, if you want to see them, are also on the website. So let me share that page for you. So for any of the programs that you think are interesting, but too bad they were held a year ago, but they exist and live on the website. So feel free to browse that page.
What did you say that was Stacy Martin's program? Peace education?
Stacy, I can't remember, were you, I forget the title of the 2 webinars you helped plan, but I don't believe it was peace education in
I was
action.
just curious, because that's the thing I've been thinking. If we could just get education to be devoted to peace once in a while, we might make a difference on this planet.
Yeah, I will definitely agree that a lot of, maybe 8% just by job title, 8% of Peace Fellows are working in education, but that could be as professors. So that's pretty broad, but it does encompass those Peace Fellows who are working in peace education for youth. I've highlighted one of those programs, but I know that that is a particular interest for Rotarians, and that is a great area to collaborate on.
Bill, I had I'm glad you mentioned about the speaker database, because I did have a district governor from North Carolina reach out to me today looking for a speaker for his district conference. And so if you'll get that information, more of that to us too, we'll help market that. I'm sure the Peace Rag does too, help market your speakers and out there so more can get requested to speak.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Obviously, for some types of events, you can continue to write to me. If I haven't given my email, I will. But if you do, I know sometimes even people like you, Rudy, will get requests like, how can I invite a speaker to my club? Well, that's then you can just share the link, and that can be the best way for most Rotarians, especially clubs who are looking for speakers, to submit a request, and then I can facilitate on the back end.
Yeah, super. Thank you. Do we have some more questions here for Bill or some of our Peace Fellows? Derek, go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to compliment Bill and Scott and Elaine. There's hope for Rotary when we have young people like these, both men and women, making strides that sometimes senior people in Rotary don't step aside and let these people bloom. But these people are not waiting for anybody to step aside. They're pushing forward. So I couldn't compliment you more. And it's nice to see youth alive and well in Rotary, because we've been lacking that for years, and women too.
Thank you, Derek.
Never ask for my opinion, Barbara. No, I just think it's really sad that these young people have to be allowed to bloom and grow. Don't suppress them by saying, oh well, you got to earn your stripes. Yeah. No,
that's why Bill's there. So
exactly. Well, 33 years old. I mean, what can you expect? Yeah. Oh, by the way, I've got some friends in your city in Belgium too that I noticed in your profile. Leuven.
Oh yeah, Leuven.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good luck.
I want to correct. I'm only 32 until July. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. And I'm 81, so don't laugh.
Yeah. What day in July?
July 7th.
7th. Oh, okay. We'll have to remember that. Good stuff. Good stuff. We have any other questions here? I know that we've had. Oh, here Al's got stand up. Al.
Yeah, Bill. Good to see you again. And I remember our conversations over the years of how to publish the Peace Fellow alumni directory, and it's been a contentious issue within Rotary as to privacy and opting in versus opting out. But I still believe that if we could publish that on the RAG website or the Alumni Association website, that not only would Rotarians be able to connect to these alumni easier, but other peace organizations could reach out to them And so it would enhance their networking capability. What is the latest on publishing their names and email addresses and maybe specialty?
Yeah, so you're correct that although we have the best contact information,
Yes, it
of
is.
Rotary Peace Fellows at Rotary International.
Yes. It's Carol's.
We can't just publish it, although the opportunity for the Alumni Association, it's kind of a good platform in the sense that it's supported by me and my time as a staff member of Rotary, but it's not necessarily beholden to the same sorts of, getting something on the Rotary International website and building out those resources there, I think has not been a strategy that has ever worked, just for lots of reasons. So there's been improvements to the Alumni Association website step by step. I mean, it's pretty much through me and other Peace Fellow volunteers, but I continue to see the developments on the website, because I think long-term that's where these resources are going to be easier to implement. So I completely agree. This has been a demand for a long time. The speaker database is just one step in that process. To make
So it's less than 10% of the alumni. And there's such a rich human resource there that of course, maybe they're all on LinkedIn. Somehow we can find them elsewhere, but it would be nice to have this Rotary cadre supported by virtue of a directory that either we have to sign into or is published with their permission.
Yes. If they all join our club here, we'll get contacts.
There you go.
Catherine, you had a hand up, and then David Wick.
Yes, and all jokes aside, I totally support that, Rudy. It'd be great to have them all join us here. And I understand that Bill can't recommend to all the new graduates that they join the Rotary Peace Club, the E-Club of World Peace. But it's become obvious to me over the many years I've been associated with the Peace Fellows that they are cosseted when they're in their different centres. They get all the attention in the world from the Rotary clubs, and then when they graduate, off they go and they have to do their own thing. And for some, they are able to reach out to people and it supports their careers. But my question to you is, what can Rotary clubs do that is beyond just asking them to speak at the club?
So in terms of Rotary Peace Fellows joining Rotary clubs, I know a lot of Rotarians see that as at least one element of success of the program. Obviously you would want all Peace Fellows to want to engage in Rotary, ideally through joining a club. And yeah, raising awareness of your club is something that I will do to future new graduates. But I will note that there has been an increase in other new clubs that have had Rotary Peace Fellow participation. You might have seen the Rotary Club of Washington Global, which has about 10 Rotary Peace Fellow members. Actually, I have a conversation tomorrow with a Peace Fellow who's looking to start a club in North Carolina with a few other Rotary Peace Fellows, and another who I've had a conversation with who'd like to start one in Geneva around the topic of sexual violence and combating that problem. So for my part, participation in a club is a goal, but the Alumni Association is maybe more of maybe a vehicle for engagement that leads to engagement at the club level. So Peace Fellows, here's how I have kind of think of it, is that people who want to join Rotary clubs, what do they want from a club experience? They report that they want fellowship, that community, sense of community. They want opportunities for professional development by building network, and they want opportunities for service. And Peace Fellows want the same thing. And by starting with that common bond as Rotary Peace Fellows and engaging them through the Alumni Association and having them be part of that community, then we've seen just naturally wanting to engage at the club level. So, you know, I think that is how I see that challenge. Now, for you as an individual Rotary Club, as an e-club, I think this is kind of the strength of your club. You've already had the model of just inviting speakers, but I think if you have Peace Fellows who are speakers at your club, the idea is to obviously learn about their work, but if there's opportunities to go beyond. You know, many Peace Fellows come to me and they have projects and they're looking to engage Rotarians on those projects. You know, sometimes the fit is not 100% perfect, but a lot of times that just the opportunity to speak leads to the connection, which leads to the connection that leads to the actual implementation of that project. So that's maybe a long-winded answer. But I think your club is doing, terrific work. I encourage you to have more Peace Fellow speakers, to hear from them directly, because that's where those connections get made.
Yeah, super.
Thank
David
you,
Wick.
Bill. Well, we'll keep inviting them, won't we, Rudy?
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. David Wick.
Howdy. I'm just wondering about, have you had any interaction with or aware of International Cities of Peace? There's over 300 cities around the world who have declared themselves an International City of Peace. And there's a lot of engagement with every age group, and there might be some real synergy finding future Peace Fellows there, and also possible project areas. But it's again a significant peace building entity, this network around the world.
Thanks for mentioning that, David. I confess I don't know a lot about that, but I will look up International Cities of Peace.
Yeah, and I can assist in that, as well as Brian Berman, who's one of our members here.
And I just interviewed Fred on peacepodcast.org also. So you just go there and you can have a 15-minute capsulated view of what Fred is doing. Imagine he has 400 cities of peace now. Bless his heart.
That's
Armand.
Fred Armand.
Today he announced Tehran, Iran as the 311th international city.
Right.
Yeah, I just saw that. That was amazing. That was amazing. Yeah, that's good. A lot of good peace work happening out there. So
many great peace builders, you know, that's why our Rotary Club is so powerful, because we're all active peacemakers. We believe that peace starts with each of us. And then we network and we hear from others, and then it broadens our base of peace work. And it's just wonderful. Sala in Washington. I love listening to Sala. She has a Saturday meeting about peace and making people equal. I mean, there's everyone on this podcast. And I have to say one thing. I have an atta girl. When she quits talking, I'm going to tell you something.
I did.
It's Miss Karen Westerveld. Her news this month is so fabulous. And you just have to see the picture of Irene and David. And if you haven't seen her newsletter, you just are in for a treat. She talks about women. She talks about International Women's Day. She talks about the programs that we're going to have. In fact, you would love it, Bill, because you're featured on our newsletter. So it is, she does such a good job. And of course, you know, you have to give her some work. Give her your pictures, give her ideas. What are your projects, so she can put them in our April newsletter.
that was a good ad.
Thank you
She's
so
awesome.
much, Barb.
Good advertisements.
You deserve every word. You do a fabulous job.
Thank you.
You're
Listen.
welcome. Even my granddaughter, I sent it to my granddaughter and she said, man, you have a good team. I said, no, it's Karen. She does it.
But I'm talking about
Yeah.
the team.
That's right. She doesn't sleep much, but it's good.
Well, she does a good job. You two are quite a team, I must tell you. We started, just so you know, Bill, our group started in 2016, the Rotary E-Club of World Peace. It started because we felt peacemakers needed a place to connect. We needed to really work together because, you know, we can do these in these silos, as people talk about, but together we're stronger. So that's why we are so excited you're on tonight, because we want to work with your Peace graduates too. Thank you. It was a great talk tonight. And did you see all the praise you're getting in the chat box?
Hey, Bill.
I'm trying to respond to the questions that I'm getting. Thanks everybody for the questions.
Hey, Bill, I have one question for you. The 3-month certificate program has expanded into, added a project in there, and has become almost a year program now. Could you explain that a little bit?
Sure. Well, I did have a slide that, if I can, actually, I'd like to, I have a slide explaining the new program that can help you visualize it. I'll bring that up. I need to go forward just a little bit. Please bear with me. Okay, so for those of you who are familiar with the certificate program as 3 months, this is the new program schedule. So as you can see, the program will begin with an online course, 2-week online course, then 10 weeks of on-site course with field studies. So Makerere has begun their program on-site. So they're in this 10-week period where they're getting to meet their cohort in person. Obviously, because of the situation, Chulalongkorn, they're not able to meet in person. So they're actually doing this online, the 10 weeks. Then the 9 months is not on site, but this is where the part of the program where each Peace Fellow, when they apply, has to come with a proposal for a social change initiative. So that's the 9 months part of the program, but then returning with an on-site capstone seminar to meet back at the center. So this, as you can see, like overall is much longer, but the real intensive in-person part of the course is still around 3 months.
Yeah, so I just wanted people to understand this is even more applied than it has been in the past with field work and coming back on this. So it is real learning in the field and then coming back and learning more.
Great.
Thanks. And this is the first year of this new model, so it's worth highlighting.
Good idea. It's not so time intensive. It's really kind of practical.
Exactly.
Okay.
Hey, Bill, are you based in Evanston?
Yes.
Okay.
Or when we go back to the office eventually, it'll be in Evanston. But yeah,
Okay.
in the Chicago area.
But you're a phantom now.
Yeah, no, I'm wherever I am.
Okay, well, this has been quite an enlightening night, and I want to thank you again, Bill, for the slideshow. It helped us understand what you're talking about. And I want to thank all the Peace Fellows who joined us tonight. Don't be strangers. We meet every Tuesday at 6:30, and even if you're not a member of our Rotary Club, we always welcome you. And I welcome Catherine also, because Catherine's a Peace Fellow, and I don't know if you all know how great she is. If you haven't met Catherine, you must get in touch with this woman. There's so many great people on this program tonight. And I want to thank Peter also. Peter Meisen is one of our newest members, and he's just such a Rotarian. And he was telling us that he comes to Rotary from a long line of Rotarians. And I think there are a lot of us who had Rotary in the background, but we couldn't join because we weren't men. And all of a sudden, I listened to Sylvia today. I said, yippee, I'm so glad, Sylvia. It only took you 11 years to get us approved, but now we're all in. And you look at the nice mix of women and men, it's just wonderful. So have a wonderful evening. Admire the women in your life. Thank them for their courage, because it takes a lot of courage sometimes to do the things we're doing. And thank them for being in your life. Without further ado, Rudy, you want to say the last word tonight?
The last word is Bill. Bill, thank you, and Elaine and Stacy for coming and joining us tonight too, and to our new members, welcome aboard, and Martin, we'll be in touch. A lot of learning out there to share, and we look forward to working on projects. So if you have projects you need help with, please bring them our way, Bill. Encourage them to bring them to us and see what we can do to support them.
Hey, Rudy, just a quick comment before. Is there any chance of getting the roster out to people? Because we have so many new people that we don't have phone numbers and emails to.
I will look at doing that. What I want to make sure is, understand this is a confidential list.
Right.
And use that only for contacting Rotarian to Rotarian. It is not for marketing purposes at all. And so that's very important to keep in mind.
Thank you. And I really appreciate you giving us this, because then I can look up Sala's phone number.
I'm going to see her next month in Seattle.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Join us any Tuesday at 6:30. Bless your heart. And look at Karen's newsletter. You'll know who's coming up. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Later,
you.
boys
Good
and
night.
girls.
Good night.
Shalom from Israel.
Shalom.
Oh, yes. Okay. Good job.